Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So, I'm so sorry about not having a video last week. I actually had a death in the family, so I ended up having to go to Portugal, and it was just like a whole situation, and I was just in no state of mind to make a video. But I'm back with a video today, and we're going to do some kind of Thanksgiving look, since today is Thanksgiving. I don't know if it'll be posted today, but we'll see. Alright, stay tuned. Alright, so I decided today that I was going to do a voiceover because last time people felt like I just didn't explain things enough, and honestly I could ramble on forever, so this is how I'm going to do it this time. I'm using the MAC Prep and Prime as my primer. I did use tape this time because I really wanted to do a very strong crease, as well as I do push my lashes down because I'll make a mess of them. So the first color that I used was the Huda Beauty, and it's the Rose Gold edition. I used the Black Truffle, and I'm just going to start that by putting that in the crease of my lid, which may not look like that just because I have really small eyes, but it was the crease of it. So I basically just put this all over, which I'm then going to blend later on with the color Bossy, and that's just what I did for that side, and then I recreated it on the other side, and I just kept blending it for a while until I felt like the color is exactly what I wanted. Sorry if I do keep looking down. I was trying to recreate this look that I'd seen, and I wanted to do something similar. I used the Infallible Concealer, which is actually really new to me because I used the Maybelline one for a while, but I do really like this one. Seems like it works well. So I put this all over my actual lid, and I tried to get it as perfectly creased as I could, but I do feel like by the end of the night, the color that I used on top of this did end up really mixing with the black and the brown on top. So it's not exactly what I wanted, but it looked nice initially. So on top of that concealer, I do use the color Clear in the Morphe palette. And if I'm not mistaken, it's Morphe 350. Yes, it is. So I used that all over the lid, and I did it on both sides. Got it to the color that I wanted, and then I put it there. I'm going to start seeing all my crazy faces soon. But I just basically blended it as much as I could so that it wasn't looking too harsh, because I do feel like I don't like when things start looking harsh on me. Yeah, so that's what I did. For the mascara, I used the Fierce Flicks, and I got that in my Ipsy bag like a while back, and I just started using it. I wanted to make a really long wing, which is something I never do, so it took me forever, and it was absolutely a hot mess for a little bit. By the time I was done with it, I was literally just annoyed, which is why I did that hand little wave there. Yep, there I am, still going. Don't know why this song is on repeat. So for the mascara, I did use a Punk Volumizer, and I think it's called Ducce. I don't know. Sorry, got that in my Ipsy bag too. I was trying to use as many new things as I could that I've never used before. So that's how I went. I moved on to my eyebrows, which I had to trim them down because they were looking a little messy, which, that's okay. Did it anyway. To fill them in, so I just used the same concealer over the edge, but to fill them in, I did use the e.l.f. pencil, and then I used the little e.l.f. eyebrow duo that, I mean, I think they only come in one color, but that's what I used. It's what I always use. I live by it, and, yeah, that's what I used. Let's see, where am I going next? Guess I didn't trim enough. So I did make the mistake of having my mirror directly in front of my laptop because my camera broke. So I had to use my laptop camera, which is why it's probably not as good as the last time. But basically that's what I had to use, and I wasn't paying enough attention to realize that my face was actually covered by this camera. So I do apologize for that, as I'm still filling in those brows. I really do take forever. Like I said, voiceovers are probably better because I could talk forever. But whatever, it's okay. No harm done, I guess. Better than the darkness. Better than the silence you guys got on some of my last videos. Oh, there's those faces again. I was listening to music in the background as well, which is why I started dancing a few times in there. Alright, to contour, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour, and I do use cream. I use the light palette. And then I just use the two colors on the corners. The middle one doesn't really do much for me, so just use those two. I did prime again. I think I forgot that I primed the first time, but it's okay. That time I used the Fenty Beauty Primer. Yeah, the Fenty Beauty Primer. So I contour first before I put on my foundation, just because I feel like it does a little something extra for me. It might not, but I think it does, so I'm going to say that it did. So I'm going to just do a little concealer, and again, still using the Infallible. I never really switched. The beauty blender I used was the e.l.f. beauty blender, and it came in like a little trio box. And I like that little tiny one for under my eyes, but for my actual face, I use the regular beauty blender. Like the beauty blender. So for foundation, I use the Fenty Beauty, and I'm color 210. Don't think I'm actually 210 right now. I think that was more my summer color, but I am still using it until I feel like doing something else with it. I was originally matched to, I think it was 200, or the one right below 210, but I felt like it matched too well, and you could still see my freckles, which is what I didn't want, as well as my redness, and I wanted to get rid of that. So I went up one color, which is why it's that color, in case anyone feels like it doesn't match. That's why. I then went and recontoured again, because I like to make it just a little darker. This look in particular, I just wanted a more contoured look, so I just did my forehead. To do the pressed powder, I did use the e.l.f. one. Again, that's also new. I did use it in my last video, which was the first time I'd used it. And I actually like it. It's not too bad. I used to use the Makeup Forever one, but I felt like it left me too white, and in photos you could see that, and I didn't like it. So I moved on to this one. I feel like it does well. Like, it brightens me without actually leaving a big white spot on my face. So then I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Powder, which I like to put right on top just to deepen my contour once again. So I just do that all over my face again, because why not? Can never have too much contour. Alright. Did my nose. I do go under my chin. I believe I didn't do the contour and cream under my chin just because sometimes it's too harsh. So I didn't do it like that. And then I removed all the pressed powder from my face. The baking was over. Just took it all off. And I used just like a stippling brush for that. I know that I've mentioned in my last video that I use basically all BH Cosmetics brushes. I got like a really good deal on them when I first started doing makeup, and they've held on to me for a while, so I'm okay with that. I do take care of them. I clean them like once a week, so that helps. For my lips, I used the color Trendsetter from Huda Beauty, and I used the liner first. I do have the mini set because I bought the little contour set that it came with, and it's just two separate colors. It came with, I believe, Trendsetter and something else, Bombshell, I believe. Yeah. But I only used Trendsetter for the purpose of this video. Again, you can't really see it because I blocked everything off with my mirror, so I am super sorry about that. I'll try again next time. For the highlighter, I used, if I'm not mistaken, Actually, I can just check. Let's see. What did I use? So it is the Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's summer. I used summer, and it's from the Glow Kit. So my light was a little off in this, and my camera's not so great, but that was the finished look. And I did get a nice close-up of my eye so that you could see it with just my phone camera. But yeah, that was it, you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.